the stronger a brand is, the better it travels. They always say that in sports, like build a good defense because defenses travel. Offenses, sometimes you can't audible in a stadium as well on the road, but defenses travel. The Raiders have a very unique sports brand. The Dallas Cowboys do too. Cowboys, until last year, were irrelevant for 15 years, but still the best television draw. The Raiders have a very unique sports brand. It travels well. It's like Starbucks. Starbucks works in Beijing, and Starbucks works in Boise. Line around the block both places. Nike works in Madrid, and Nike works in Maine. It doesn't matter where in the West the Raiders play. Las Vegas is a Raider town. Used to live there, still is. L.A., more than the Rams, is a Raiders town. And Oakland is a Raiders town. The Raiders brand travels very well. In L.A. and Oakland and Vegas, equally dynamic as a team. The problem, though, with the Raiders is that the stadium they were in Oakland is a revenue-sucking machine. And the stadium in Las Vegas will be a revenue-producing machine. Let me ask you, think about all of you in this country. How many of you have moved? I live in Los Angeles. I'm surrounded by New York Giants, New England Patriots, and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Well, you moved away from your team. Do you like them less? What's the difference if the team moves from you? Colin, I want to go to those games. Really? Then why is the upper deck in Oakland tarped off? Let me ask you this. 18 million people last year went to an actual NFL game. Our country has 310 million people. 18 million people went to a game last year. And that's overstated because most are season ticket holders. So it's probably closer to half that, 10 million of you went to a game. 111 million of you watched the Super Bowl, and 41 million of you play fantasy football. The NFL's become a television sport, not a be-there sport. College football is a be-there sport. Hockey is a be-there sport. In 2017, Red Zone, DirecTV, 5 different networks. Watch it on your phone. Play fantasy football. Stadiums in the NFL are trying to figure out gimmicks to keep fans at the game because it's become such a great TV product. If you're a Raider fan, what do you give a rip where they play? You want them in the most dynamic place possible that they can create the most revenue and attract the most free agents and players. Well, that's way more Vegas than Oakland. Oakland's got 13% taxes. Vegas has 0 state tax. Free agents, their agents, look at that. The stadium in Oakland, revenue sucking. The stadium in Vegas, revenue producing. Translation, this team's going to make a lot more money and be able to overspend. Yeah, I know there's a salary cap, but you can still guarantee a lot of money that doesn't count toward your salary cap. That's all you should care about. In 2017, if you could move the Bills to Miami, sunshine and no state tax, they'd have a better roster. Would you like them less? For every Raider fan that says, I lost my team, do all those Giant fans and Steeler fans in America that moved out of New York and Pittsburgh to go to warmer weather and live in Florida, are they no longer your team? We just don't like it when teams move. But look around the sports world. Who's the hot team in the NBA? The Golden State Warriors. You do know they were once the Philadelphia Warriors. And the Lakers, yeah, they're from Minneapolis. And the Oilers in Houston became the Titans. And the Browns became the Baltimore Ravens. And the Clippers started in Buffalo. And the Pistons started in Fort Wayne. Look at how many teams have moved. Are you less of a fan? All you should care about is how can we be viable on the free agent market? Are we an attractive place? Are we an attractive place for coaches, scouts, and administrators to live? Ask yourself. If you want to hire the best scout and he's got 3 girls, he can buy a lot nicer home in Las Vegas than Oakland. It's much easier to sell his wife, let's go work for the Raiders. For $800,000, we can get a pool and a sauna and 4,800 square feet. In Oakland, honey, we're going to have to rent small apartment. That's all you should care about. Don't worry about, honestly, Having lived out west and been born out west, Vegas, Oakland, and L.A., they're all Raider towns. But I won't be able to go to the games. Look at the numbers. Most people don't go to the games anyway. How many of you take your kids to Raider games? How many of you take your kids to NFL games, period? I watch television. I look in the stands. I see who it is. It's not kids. I could argue you're better served watching at home, saving money, and hanging out with your son or your daughter. But when I go to Starbucks, I don't care where it's based. Is my coffee good? If you're a Raider fan, do you care where they're at? What you should care about is, are they dynamic? This country has mobility. We've all moved away from our teams. I don't like the Seahawks any less. I'm now the furthest point you could be from the Patriots. I don't watch them any less. It's interesting because I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's a big New York Yankee fan. Big New York Yankee fan. And I said to him, and he lived in Connecticut. And he's like, oh, these winters are brutal in Connecticut. And I remember telling this person, I said, well, why don't you want sunshine? I said, well, why don't you move to Florida? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you do get, in 2015, it was 2 years ago, you can live anywhere. You can get all the Yankee games on Yes. You can get them on Sirius XM. You can get the New York Times. Tyler Kepner's the beat reporter. You get every day. You can live anywhere for your team now. And conversely, your team can be anywhere. So this idea that, oh, this is terrible, ask yourself this. The other bad take by the media is this is just about greed. No, what it's about is the NFL doesn't want teams at a massive financial disadvantage. The Chargers and the Raiders were at a massive game day stadium revenue disadvantage. The Chargers won't be eventually in L.A., and the Raiders won't be eventually in Las Vegas. The NFL's a business. It's just like if you owned Subway or Pizza Hut. What you want is every one of your franchises to be reasonably viable. I just saw one of those big clothiers just closed about 30 stores. Could have been JCPenney, may have been Sears. Which ones did they close? The low revenue producers. They want to tighten up their spreadsheet. The NFL just wants to tighten up its spreadsheet. Oakland and San Diego politicians wouldn't build new stadiums. As the league has grown, they were revenue suckers. And the NFL's like, we don't want to have 2 or 3 teams at the bottom that just can't compete financially. It's not about greed. It's about good business. This is why JCPenney, this is why companies close certain stores. They don't want the bottom end. They want the top and a strong middle. So if you're going to have the vibrant Cowboys and the vibrant New York Giants and the economically vibrant Pittsburgh Steelers, what you don't want is a franchise in Oakland that can't make any money out of their stadium. Vegas is going to make a fortune. I know I'll get emails. All you guys that live in Los Angeles, are you less of a Raider fan because they moved to Oakland? You're still wearing the cap. You're still watching them on DirecTV. You're still watching them on Red Zone Channel. You're still watching the Raiders on your local affiliate. This time the team moved from you. You've moved from your teams. You want a vibrant, dynamic team. If the Buffalo Bills could move to Miami and make more money, good. You want to win games or you want to keep being the Buffalo Bills? You got Derek Carr now. You finally got a franchise quarterback. You got the next Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr. You want him in a revenue stadium that he can't make any money? You want him to have star players that want to play in a state with no state tax, and free agents can move to Las Vegas and buy a huge home for their kids for $1.5 million in Oakland. That doesn't get you a postage stamp. Believe me, I live in California. Come on.